Wait a minute. Get this out of the way. All right, and we are live again. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast.
Riffin with Griffin, yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin on a new day. Riffin with Griffin's going to come Wednesday mornings. I'm going to try to do it every Wednesday around 10 a.m. So stay tuned for that. Sorry for the confusion, but welcome. Today we're talking about the Chris Rock special, The Consultant on Prime, Real World Advice from a Grown-Ass Man is back, and a couple of other things. But we are live in full effect. Thanks for being here as always. And you know what we do. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for being here live. You know how we do. We got a new we're doing it on a new day. Tuesdays was just becoming too difficult to do it live. I was doing other podcasts on Tuesdays, and it's just like it's a lot. So I was like, let me alleviate some of my stress and just do this on a different day. But anyways, thanks for being here. This is Riffin with Griffin. Go to erikgriffin.com. Want more news and notes from me? Subscribe, everybody. Subscribe. You got to subscribe. You got to hit the notifications. So you could, know when I'm going live and when I'm posting things. And I'm on Twitch most days. I'm going to be on Twitch later today. I have a lunch meeting, but I'm going to be on Twitch after that. And if you want to support the show, you can support the show on Twitch. There's my alarm, sorry. You can support the show by being a subscriber on Twitch, or you can just be a subscriber on Patreon. So now that I've switched days, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to come in and do a sort of like, not daily thing on my Patreon, but like the morning news with Griffin or something like that. I'm getting it all set up. I know I said it every week, but I am. Relax. We're going to do it. All right. And so let's just take care of a little business before we start. We want to thank the sponsor of our show, DoorDash. Want to thank DoorDash for sponsoring the show. Get 50% off up to $20 value and 0 delivery fees when you download the DoorDash app and enter code Griffin. Also, a great sponsor of the show is Kickoff. Kickoff. Don't let your credit control you. Go to kickoff.com and start building better credit in less than 5 minutes. That's KIKOFF.com. And take control of your credit right now. All right, everybody, what's going on? Thanks for being here. I want to thank everybody that's listening. If you're listening later on Apple or Amazon or however you listen to podcasts, thank you. Please write comments and share and give me 5 stars because that stuff helps push the podcast up to the top with the algorithm. But, and I thank everybody I want to thank all the people in the chat too. You guys are great. Thanks for doing what you do too. You know what I mean? So that's great for you guys being in the chat. I see all you guys there, talking smack. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is what it is. So thanks for being here. Let me go to this, when we doing it live, it takes a little second to get everything in order. Wait, let me make sure I got all my it's weird how the phone doesn't necessarily sync with your computer. I mean, the Apple universe is actually pretty good, the way it integrates, you know what I mean? But sometimes you don't know when it's doing it. You know what I mean? It's like, when is it sending the pictures over to your computer and when is it not, It's really bizarre. So I don't know. I probably should have checked that earlier, but it is what it is. You know how we do here. I was in Vegas, so I want to thank everybody that came out to Vegas to see me at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. So shout out to Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. That was really fun. You know, there's so much competition in Vegas. You know, when you're in Vegas and you're trying to do, anything. It's like there was the fights, there was NASCAR. Right across from the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club is this like theater that has these like all these kind of like punk bands and emo stuff, and it was a lot. You know what I mean? It was a lot of stuff, and we still had some great crowds. So shout out to everybody that came out in Vegas. That was pretty cool. And let's see. Let me see what we got. Some comments we got right now. Let's see. I don't even know. I mean, I had some comments ready to go. Let's see. Mary H. I love you so much, Eric. The rap at the end was so funny and goofy. I had to rewind and watch it a couple times. Well, that's what you guys got to wait for the rap recap. So Mary H., thanks for, writing it out. Okay. Then Riley, it must be Riley. Showald, a weird name. I don't know. I'm so sorry I butchered your name. But my son Joel was named after The Last of Us. It was a deadly game, man. Wow. So that's somebody that really likes the game. Let's see. Somebody House Money Ant. Those Volvo EVs are kind of saucy, but yeah, 225-mile range is crazy. Bananas. That Volvo thinks they could sell a car that only goes 225, that they're claiming 225 miles. Believe me, that's in true mileage after using the AC and driving uphill and driving fast and the radio and that is going to go 110 miles tops. You're going to be so disappointed. That car is that is crazy to me. Eric Sanchez up in the chat right now. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. That's how you also can support the show, and I appreciate that. Let's see a few more comments. Travy, loving The Last of Us. Haven't even cared or noticed political statements you claim to see, but I guess being gay or lesbian, Tommy marrying a black woman is political. You getting old, man. You're crazy. The fact that you wrote that means you see exactly what I'm saying. I love when people say bullshit like that. It's like when people say, I don't see color. Like, what? Are you colorblind? Like you just saying that means you see color. You know what I mean? It's just like Last of Us is an absolutely fantastic show. But don't think for a second they not making not political statements, but, social statements. It's like they're going, hey, we're going to do different stories. And I'm all for it. I'm not against it. I'm all for it. The more they do things like that, the more it will be normalized in our culture, and we truly won't see it. You know what I mean? But for you to act like I'm a good person, so I never see race or color or sexual orientation. Listen, I call bullshit. Anyways, somebody else, Anonymous Hippopotamus, funny name. They should have built the Chevy Volt idea, EV that switches to gas when you need it. I actually 100% agree. I think they should have some sort of hybrid. Maybe you have a little gas tank that's just for emergencies. You know what I mean? So I totally agree with you on that. Anyways, we're here. Riffin with Griffin. Thanks for all the comments. If you want to comment, you'll get your comment read too out here. But anyways, like I say, I was out in Vegas and it was really fun. I had a good time in Vegas, so thanks for coming out, like I said. And if you want to see me, I don't know if you're in the Santa Rosa area. I'm not even sure if this is a private show. I got to look. I think it's a public show, but I'm going to be at the Boys and Girls Club on the 11th. My birthday's actually on the 12th, so make sure you come check that out. All right, got to make sure I got my real-world advice stuff ready to go. What's going on? Weird story in the news, real quick. I thought I get these weird news stories from my shout out to my producer Kristen Espinoza. She sends me some great stuff, but this is one of them that I thought was like, this is some bizarre ass stuff right here, y'all. I don't know if you've even seen this, but a family raises a 250-pound dog for 2 years and then realizes it's a bear. What? What? Like, at what point are you like, this dog is getting big? How do you not know a dog is a bear? Like, when you, what? Like, so you raising it and it's just eating stuff. It's eating you out of house and home. It's getting huge. What dog? It'd be one thing if it was like a wolf. It'd be one thing if it was like that's the only thing I can think of, a coyote or, but it would be like, it's like you think this is a house cat, right? Let's say you think this is a house cat, and then 6 months in, it's a tiger. And you're like, oh, this house cat is just getting big. What are you talking about, man? At least a tiger, when it's a little, it looks like a freaking cat, right? They look the same. A bear, and then in the story, the couple is saying like, yeah, we were kind of getting concerned that the dog was walking on its hind legs. This bear should have ate both of them. Yeah, I don't even know if I actually even believe this story, but it was in the New York Post. As I think because of like Cocaine Bear is out, which I haven't seen, and I want to go see that, and I'll give you guys a good review. But it's just like, what are you talking about? Even when they're showing the thing as a little baby dog, quote unquote, it looked like a bear. Like you've never seen a bear before. Like how ridiculous would that be? Like you have a little puppy, and then because these suckers grow fast. 2 years later, it's a 250-pound bear. Like you like. At what point are you like, yo, we got to get this out of here? Like, is it roaming around the house? Like, imagine you go to somebody's house and you know how dogs and stuff jump on you. They got a bear that's on its hind legs. And they're like, oh, this is Fluffy. And you're like, what, bitch? Get this monster out of my face. I don't know. It's just like, sometimes I feel like people are getting stupider and stupider as the years go on, huh? Somebody said in the chat, maybe the bear was on the spectrum. Inappropriate. That is problematic and triggering. So please don't say things like that. A bear. A bear. A bear. Are you kidding me? A bear? At what point? I wonder, like, you got a bear. It's 2 years later, and it's a bear. And you're like, we should go to the vet. Yeah, our dog is walking on his hind legs. Imagine the look on the vet's face when you walk in. First of all, when you walk in with a bear on a leash. And that sucker's walking next to them on its hind legs. And, and they acted like this is normal. Yeah, Fluffy is walking like this. It's kind of, is there something going on? And the doctor's going to be like, that's a bear, dummy. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was just stupid. That's just a dumb story that sometimes stuff in the news, you go, I don't know if this is true, if I believe this or not, Personal note, like, I just want to say this. I think that social media, and I'm just coming up with this now because I was just thinking about it, but I think that social media needs to have the same rules as like any other press or news organization. Before social media, like the New York Post or the Washington Post or LA Times or any news organization, they can't just write a story about anybody and say whatever they want. They have to be able to have corroborating evidence. They have to have sources and facts to back up their story. So if they want to make a claim about you, they say you did something horrible, or they just want to say anything about you, once they publish that story, as the person that's the subject of that story, I then am enabled to be like, yo, I'm suing you, or this is against the law. It's not even about being sued. It's against the law. That's why you rarely see stories about people. They in the story, they'll be like, these are the, after talking to 3 sources, after talking to whatever, here's the facts, and this is what we have. And then if you want to refute that, then the person can come back and be like, oh, this isn't true, but they're going to have to prove that. Social media, to me, should fall under the same category, because as of right now, anybody can say anything about anybody. They could just say whatever they want. They could call you names. They could say disparaging things about you. They could say whatever they want, and it's public. And, if you have a lot of followers, that could be dangerous for someone. It's just, you know what I mean? An unfair characterization or whatever it is. And it's like, I think that because technology moves so fast that the laws are not caught up to that. Another example of that is like, and I've talked about this before, it's how like, when you put one of those air tags on something, like that should be a legal thing now. So let's say I put an air tag in my car and my car is stolen and the thief takes it to their house and they put it in their garage. I call the cops and I go, yo, I have an air tag in this and I see exactly where it is. Well, the cops will get there and they'll be like, well, we can't do anything. We can't do anything because, we need a warrant or whatever the thing is. That should be put into law. It's like, oh, no, I got an air tag and I know it's there. Here's the app. The cops should be able to see that and be like, this is enough for us to go in. Get this car. My buddy had his motorcycle stolen, and his friend's motorcycle was stolen, and this is exactly what happened. That the thieves know this, and they put the motorcycle in their apartment, and the dude couldn't do anything. The cops were like, look, we can't do anything. So I'm saying that's like, you got to do something about that. You know what I mean? So anyways, I was just thinking about that the other day because, I just think that you should be careful about the things you say about people on the internet. You should. It is, anyways, you guys don't care. Whatevers. Nobody cares. All right, let's do some business right now, guys. Let's do some business. Let's talk about DoorDash, y'all. DoorDash. We want to thank our sponsor, DoorDash. All right. Get the Dash Pass offer. There's a Dash Pass offer for students, which I think is great. Good. First of all, let me just say I use DoorDash. I love DoorDash. I'm on the go. I'm busy. Rachel works. I work. We're ships in the night sometimes, and then it's time to get together and we're like, hey, do we want to go out? No, we just want to order from one of our favorite restaurants that's around here because we also want to support. And DoorDash is a great way to use that, and they have a bunch of things, man, with 0 delivery fees, exclusive items, and more than 25,000 members only offers nationwide. That's when you get that Dash Pass offer for students, what I'm saying. So get the back to school savings you really want and get unlimited free DoorDash delivery with Dash Pass, just $4.99 a month for students. That's actually a great deal. When you get the free delivery, it really adds up. So make sure you guys check that out. Sometimes you want to pick up groceries, or you went to the grocery store and you forgot something, so you can get groceries and essentials and stuff like that. DoorDash has a lot of stuff, right? It satisfies many cravings that you might have. Sometimes we order just donuts when I'm being a fat bitch, but do what you got to do, guys. But Dash Pass by DoorDash has everything you need to make this semester memorable. Dash Pass for students gets you delivery in an hour or less, so you can satisfy those spur-of-the-moment cravings. Or save even more, 5% DoorDash credits back on pickup orders. That's actually great too. I take advantage of that. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off up to $20 value and 0 delivery fees when you download the DoorDash app and enter code Riffin. That's 50% off, $20 value, and 0 delivery fees when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code Riffin. Don't forget, that's code Riffin, Riffin, for 50% off, up to $20 value and 0 delivery fees with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply. Also, a great sponsor of the show right now is Kickoff. That's Kickoff. Kickoff.com. Don't let your credit control you. Listen, your credit is such an important thing, I got to tell you right now. And you can do something about it to make sure that you have a good credit score so you can get a good house, so you can get a car with a low interest rate. All that stuff is important. Getting ready for the next step in your life. Maybe you're thinking about buying a new car, like I'm saying, renting a new apartment. Having a good credit score is very important, all right? Is your credit score getting in the way of what you want? Because that's what will happen. Kickoff is here to help you. There's no way around it. Credit scores are boring, but they still determine whether you get a sick credit card, a good loan for a house, and if you qualify for the new apartment. Kickoff makes it easy to put credit building on autopilot so you can spend your time doing whatever you want. Plans start at just $5 a month, and every one-time payment you make with Kickoff is reported to the major credit bureaus. When they see healthy habits, you see your credit score boost, and that is important. With a 4.9 out of 5 rating in the App Store and over 44,000 rave reviews, you can trust Kickoff. Don't let your credit control you. Go to kickoff.com and start building better credit in less than 5 minutes. Don't put it off. That's KIKOFF.com. Take control of your credit right now. Build your credit the easy way right now at kickoff.com. All right, guys. Now we got the business out of the way. Let's get to the main event of what I wanted to talk about today. All right. So, what's going on here? Why isn't it switching? What? See, this is this that shit right here. Just that stuff I'm talking about, man. I don't know what's going on with this. Wait, let me do this. There we go. All right, y'all. There it is. Sorry about that. And thanks for being here. All the chatters. Chris Rock, everybody. Chris Rock, who I consider a friend. You know, I said I sent him a message. I was like, great job. All right. So first of all, Netflix did this new thing where they tried something new. They experimented and did a live event. So Chris Rock taped his new special live. Selective, what was it called? What was the name of this damn thing? Selective Outrage, which I think is a great title, which is like that sort of anti-woke movement. Selective Outrage. So they tried it live. Now, as a comic myself, I got to tell you, just the fact that they decided to do this live is amazing. Okay? It's an amazing thing because you guys don't understand. Normally specials, and when you're at this level, sometimes they'll do 4 shows. You're wearing the same thing, and then you pick the best moments, and you piece it together, and you put together a great television show. That's what it is, you know? I directed a special recently, my boy Matt Rife, which is out now. Check out Matt Rife's special right now. And so I know how it is. I know the ins and outs. I know how sometimes you have to stop in the middle of it because something happens. There's things that go on that happen live that you never see as an audience member. You just see this finished product that has been chopped up, the best versions of the jokes, the best thing is put together. So the fact that he did this live, it's great. And then he flubbed a joke and he even said it. It made it really authentic, as if you were experiencing this concert live in your house, like as if you were there. It's a tough thing to do, and not everybody can pull it off. I mean, I've had great live shows that when I finish, I go, oh, man, I wish I was taping that. But you never know. So anything could have happened, and they experimented with it, and I thought it was great. I think Netflix is going to move into live events, and I think that's, it's cool. It was a cool thing. But now let's get to it. What do I think about the special overall? Like I said, you're watching a live performance. There were ups and downs, but I think Chris Rock was in his bag, man. He's one of the greats, man. He's on the Mount Rushmore of comics, all right? He's one of the greats, okay? And he was in it, He was entertaining. He was doing the Chris Rock thing that he does. He was making his points. He was being funny, and I thought that he did a great job. I thought it was an enjoyable watch. You know what I mean? With as many specials that are on Netflix right now, and so many of them are bad, and then they weren't live. I tell you, so think of that too. There's a lot of specials that are on Netflix right now where you're like, that was okay, and they probably did 2 or 4 shows, and this is the thing they put out. And Chris Rock just doing it live in the pocket was just, I thought it was fantastic, But, it is what it is. It's like I say, he did a live thing, you know what I mean? But really, the whole point of this whole thing right now is we get to the end, the last 10 minutes, where he talks about what he hasn't addressed in a year is this slap by Will Smith at the Oscars. So let's go back to it, okay? Because I talked about it last year, and I'm going to talk about it again, all right? Chris Rock made a dad joke, okay? I can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane 2. His wife's bald. He wasn't a surprise guest at the Oscars. But he's already hosted the Oscars before. You know what you're going to get with Chris Rock. He made a joke. First of all, he compared her to a female hero. So who I feel bad for is Demi Moore, because apparently being compared to Demi Moore is the worst thing you could possibly do. The guy did a dad joke. He might as well have said, pull my finger. That's what he might as well have said that. Pull my finger. It was just a dad joke, okay? So let's say you are like, oh, you're one of these bitches who's like, oh my God, I can't believe that he said that. And all right, you're upset about that. You're a bitch, in my opinion. All right, you're a little fragile bitch. Okay, so it's like it's a joke. You know what I mean? Like, let's get over ourselves. We're taking ourselves way too serious. And by the way, in that moment, everybody laughed, Will Smith included. Okay, now I'm gonna go on your side and be like, all right, if you think that was the most out-of-pocket thing you could possibly say, commercial break. Will Smith could get up, go to the back, and be like, yo, dog, please don't talk about my wife. I don't know what your problem is. He could have handled that in a whole host of ways. We could have heard about it later. Will Smith steps to Chris Rock like, hey, man. And then they had an altercation, and we'll never really know what happened. But then you could be like, well, Chris Rock said that joke. Maybe he shouldn't have. If that's how you feel about it, I'm with you. I'm like, okay, he handled it. I wouldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying? It would just be like, I think you would have thicker skin if you're people like this, okay? And by the way, like I said, that joke was nothing. That's a nothing joke. It's a throwaway joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he did in this special, that's what he could have done at the Oscars. All that information was out about them. He could have done all that at the Oscars. Then I'm like, oh, you might want to go up and punch this dude, right? But that's not what he did. That's not what he did. He did a dad joke, okay? The point is about time and place. Chris Rock's a better man than me because I would have called the police on that dude. You have to remember this too. He was slapped, assaulted on national television. No charges were pressed, and there was no arrest. You guys forget that. All you fragile, sensitive-ass people who are just like, oh, my God, we need to remove comedy from society. Comedy is the worst thing ever in society. Making fun of ourselves and other people that needs to be removed. So should violence, okay? How about that? Let's not forget that. On the most important day of this dude's professional career, he made a blunder. And there was no repercussions for it in the moment that there could have been, okay? He could have been arrested, but Chris Rock was like, nah, that's okay. And he was a pro. Took the hit and then went on with the show because there's 40 million people watching. He could have got him arrested and could have sued him and the Oscars. Anyway, what he did in his special, justified. I see a lot of people, I've seen comments and people like, oh, he should get slapped again. See, y'all forgot what happened. A dude made a innocuous dad joke and got assaulted on television, and now he's coming back being like, all right, now it's my turn. And he doesn't use his fists, he uses intellect, and he got him. So now we hear his side of the thing, and y'all still bitches. Y'all still like, oh, Chris Rock, that was terrible. I can't believe this. It's like the whole situation, you have to look at the whole thing. You have to look at the whole thing, okay? The whole thing, how this went about. Hurt people, Whatever's going on with that family is ridiculous. I mean, I agree with Chris Rock about, like, why would you talk about that stuff publicly? And you're going to talk about that stuff. When you put stuff out publicly, you open it up for scrutiny, criticism, and for comments. That's why you do it. You have a show on Facebook Live, on Facebook, that has a comment section. You are opening it up for comments. Did Chris Rock say that stuff on the Oscars? No. And he could have. And he didn't. He was like, this is inappropriate. But yeah, that's what comics do when they're on the Oscars. That's why they have them there, for comic relief. Let's poke fun at these people who take themselves too serious. Okay? Then he gets hit, and then a year later, you bitches want to act like this is the first instance of this interaction. So now people are attacking Chris Rock as if this is what he did last year, and they're not the same. What he said on the Oscars and what he said in his special are not the same thing. They're not even on the same level. You know what I mean? So I just don't get it. I just don't get it. You know what I mean? It's like, even if you're dealing with, and first of all, Jada Smith, even with her condition, whatever the thing is called, she looked great. She's at the Oscars in the front row in a fabulous dress with her rich husband and their successful lives. And yeah, he just poked fun. It's like, even if you didn't like that, you just go, did it rise to the level of that? So what I'm saying is that had nothing to do with Chris Rock. That had everything to do with what was going on in their relationship. And they took their business and publicized it out on the streets. And then he reacted to it in a way he shouldn't have. Okay? Period. There is no justifying Will Smith ruining the Oscars. There's no way, there's no justifying that. How he handled that was 1,000% wrong. He could have hit him up at a party afterwards. He could have went to him, and even that would have been wrong. But there's levels. If you feel like Will Smith is justified because he's like, oh, you talking because y'all are sensitive asses, I get it. This is this generation. I see there's a bitch in the chat right now who's just like, being a bitch. You know what I'm saying? I get it. That's this generation. You guys, you're not from my generation. You can't take jokes. I get it. Comedy's not your thing. I get that. So then, therefore, when is the time and place to go? Because you know who lost? Will Smith lost. He lost. They canceled all his movies. He was shunned, shamed in society. He's banned from the Oscars for 10 years. And now every time this comes up, he's going to be remembered for that. Was it worth it? Chris Rock, on the other hand, sold more tickets in his concerts than he ever has. And now he has this Netflix special that we're still talking about. So it's like, who won in the situation? It's like, you're supposed to be a bigger person, If you can't take jokes, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. Will Smith is the big loser in this, okay? He's the big loser. The Oscars got a little bump because that show was boring, And it's boring because of the sensitive liberal types who want to go on the show and continuously talk about social stuff when this is a thing about celebrating you. So they want to ruin the show by talking and alienating half the country. They want to alienate half the country and talk about politics on this show. The show is just about celebrating them. And everyone watches movies. Liberals, conservatives, independents, atheists. Everybody likes movies. And then the show is continuously ruined by a political agenda. Okay? So that's what's happened with that. That's why the ratings are drop every single year. The ratings drop because there's half the country that it's like, yeah, I don't want to watch this. You know what I mean? They're just like, I'll just see who won on Google the next day, but I don't want to watch this show because I'm tired of being preached at. Okay? So, that's a fair feeling. You know what I mean? That's a fair feeling. So, you know what I mean? So however you feel about it, again, if you are someone who feels like if someone makes a joke about you, you are entitled to attack them physically, if that's your feeling, I don't agree with it. And even if I'm like on Will Smith's side, if I'm like, yo, you talking about my wife, because I'm dealing with whatever, I'm trying to salvage my relationship with her and I feel like I need to go do something, that wasn't the time or place. He could have stepped to him later and been like, yo, what's up? And that's how you handle that. Okay? Anybody that justify, like, I don't want anything to do with anybody that thinks it was okay to do that in that setting. Or even just like, put to violence. Because, look, Will Smith lost. He lost. Okay? He lost this battle. So cut to now this special. So you get slapped on live television. Yeah, you get to come back and do what you do. And that's what he did. And I praise him for it. It was deserved. If you didn't like it, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, compare the jokes. Compare See You in G.I. Jane 2 to what he did in his special. If you think those two are the same, man, you got issues. You have issues. Like, don't ever go to comedy shows. Please. Don't ever go to comedy shows. Just be a keyboard warrior at your house and never interact with other people. Because I don't want to know someone like that. I don't want someone like that in my life. I don't want you coming to my shows. Don't go to other people's shows because you're going to ruin them with your negative attitude because you're weak-minded. That's just my feeling. I don't want anybody like that around me. You know what I mean? If you think See You in G.I. Jane 2 and what happened in Chris Rock's special, how he retaliated from being slapped on national television, if you think those two are the same, like I say, you got issues. You know what I mean? You got issues, man. So I think overall, if I'm critiquing the special itself, I'm giving it a big thumbs up. A lot of woo-woos because I think it was an interesting experiment because as a comic, I know how difficult it is to do something live. Like that's like live, and then no matter anything can happen. And I think he did a great job. I think he pulled it off. I think that, what we waited for, what we wanted to see, we got him talking about what he thinks, why he think he got slapped, the history between the parties, and then how he felt about it and the jokes he made about it. I think it was hilarious, and I applaud him for it. I'm like, yeah, that was because to me, that's what he could have done on the Oscars, and he didn't. All right, so that's that. That's all Daddy has to say about that issue. But well done, my friend. Well done. Okay, that's how I feel about it. All right, y'all. Wait, let me see. Do I have this? I gotta go quick here. Let me do a quick review of. Let's do a quick review of The Consultant. This Consultant, it's on Prime. Christoph Waltz is the star. This is a weird ass show, man, but I highly suggest you watch it. I haven't seen the end. I haven't seen the end yet, so I'm still like I'm on episode like 7 or something. I'm like almost done with the series. I think the front half of the series is very good and fascinating because you're just like, what is this about? What's going on? Who is this guy? Why did this happen? And the story that they tell up to the about halfway, I think it's pretty good. And he's such a great actor, and the other people in it are doing a great job too, man. Wait, let me look this up real quick. I thought I had this website open, but I don't. Okay, here we go. IMDb. The Consultant on IMDb. Yeah, who are the people? Christoph Waltz, Nate Wolff, and Brittany O'Grady. Brittany O'Grady's doing a really good job on this too. I've watched a couple of her shows, but the log line for the show is follows a relationship between employee and boss, asking how far you'll go to get ahead and to survive. So yeah, so it's like an interesting in office drama, they're in the office and there's this guy who is like this, consultant, and how he got the job is very strange. And who is he and what's his history and what's going on? Is there some supernatural elements? And then like how people interact with each other at their job and like why they do their job, how they get ahead. I mean, there's a lot of little other concepts in it, but I think it's a great watch. It's a great watch. So I give it I give it some woo. Oh yeah, let's do all the woo-woos. First of all, Chris Rock woo-woos, 10. Woo, 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 woo. And this one probably gets like 6. Woo, 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 woo. So there you go. So The Consultant, I highly recommend you watch The Consultant. So, and then tell me what you think. All right, let me just get to the other part of what I wanted to do today. Is the whole reason why. Let's see. Let's get to, where is it? Oh, here it is. Where is it? Oh man, I had a whole now it's not working. What? Well, that sucks. Oh man, that sucks. My real world advice from a grown ass man. My graphic that I made, it's gone. What happened to it? Oh well. Anyways, guys, real world advice from a grown ass man. If anybody else has any questions in the chat, you can. All right, so I got a lot of great questions on Instagram. I usually put it when I do real world advice from a grown ass man. I get it on Instagram. And then I do one of those question things, and then people send me the questions, and then I read them here on the podcast, and I answer them. Let's see. Wait. Oh shit, man, this is not working properly. Okay. All right, so somebody said, how do I get back out into the dating world? I have been single over a year, and I feel so rusty and out of sync. I don't know. I mean, I wish I knew how old that person was, but how do you get back in the dating world when you haven't been dating for a year? I really think it just depends on your age, where you're coming from with this. I mean, this young generation right now, you guys are big on actually not interacting in real life with human beings. And so you've forgotten that human beings are communal creatures. We are meant to be around other people. We're designed that way. That's why we have senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, touch. All of these things, when you commingle with people, are helpful. Pheromones, body language, unspoken communication is something that is helpful. So a lot of you are so rusty because you think swiping right is dating. Now, I'm not an old fogey where I'm like, don't you meet people on the internet. I think it's a safe way to vet people, right? But get off of it right away. So you meet somebody, you read their profile, it interests you, but what you really think is, I think this person's hot, or whatever it is. Get off this shit right away. Get a phone number, talk, FaceTime, whatever, send a voice note, something where you can get more senses, and then try to meet, go for coffee. And then really right away, don't chat with somebody on the internet for 6 months thinking that, oh, I'm really getting to know them. You're really not. There's so much more about a person when you see them in person. It's so different. So to get off the, you're rusty. So get back into it by get on the dating apps, but try to get in person and have and involve more of your senses. Okay. Good luck. All right. Let's see here. So I answered this one on Instagram, but I'll answer it on here too because I think this is a great one. As you know, I'm the only child. I never met my dad before. And this guy said, my dad has never been in my life either. How do I completely move on from that? And what I found out from being in therapy is that you don't actually move on from it. Or there's things about it that you didn't realize was affecting you. What I didn't realize is I have feelings of abandonment. For a long time, I felt like I didn't think it bothered me. I've never met my father before. So, and I thought, oh, okay, well, I've never had him in my life, so I don't know what that's like. Right. So I thought, oh, okay, it's not like you're 7 and your dad's like, I'm going to get cigarettes and never comes back. Then you're like, oh my God, you've experienced a great loss. But I actually realize now in therapy that, when I see other people's families or you watch TV and you see a father interacting with their son and you realize, oh, I've never experienced that and how that's affected me, how I feel abandoned, how I feel and how that makes me feel in other relationships I've had in my life with friends, with people that I want to be considered family, So it's like you don't know how this stuff affects you. And so I would suggest you've never met your father, you never met your mother, and there is going to be something. You think that, oh, I got a handle on this, and you can still survive. You can be successful. I've had a great career. I have money in the bank. I can retire. I can, I'm ready to, I just love doing what I do. Right. So I've done okay, but I do see how it's affected me. So I'm telling you out there, you may not see the things that it affects you. It's okay. Maybe get into some therapy. Maybe actually talk about this with someone you trust, So, but anyways, I totally get that, and good luck. Let's see. How do I deal with a friend who is a compulsive liar, lies about everything? He's 40 years old. Well, look, this is the thing. How do you deal with somebody that's a liar? That's a choice you're making. If you feel like you have a friend in your life that just lies all the time, but you love this person, like this is my friend, I love this person, right? But you just know, oh, my friend is a liar. It's just one of those things, when your friend comes and, when your lying friend comes, it's like, yo, man, dude, just met Sting at the Starbucks. You in your mind, you lying. You know what I'm saying? So you just go, that's not somebody you trust with secrets. That's not somebody you ask for advice from. But you can still, that's just your friend, or you have to let them know, man, I can't deal with your lying. Stop lying. I know you're lying. Stop lying. I can't trust you. You either have to be open and honest with them, or you just have to accept who this person is, and you just have to deal with them accordingly. There's nothing else. There's nothing really else you can do. And then here's another question. Somebody said, I'm almost 30 and still single, work long hours. Any advice on how to meet someone? Okay, so this just goes back to the other thing I was saying. You can meet you meet somebody at work, you know what I mean? Or somebody has the same interest, Sometimes people think they forget that they're walking around in public and, your antennas can be up. Sometimes you might go to the coffee shop and you see someone. You guys, you young people, you don't even know how to approach someone without being creepy, without being whatever, and just sparking up a conversation. It's like that is a lost art. But get on the dating apps, man. Get on the dating apps and get off of it right away, like I said earlier, okay? That is just what you have to do, all right? All right, let me find some other ones. This was a stupid one that I answered on my Instagram, but I'm going to answer it for you right here for you guys too. This guy goes, should I cheat on my girlfriend that never gives me sex, and when she does, it's lame? This is the most entitled, this is toxic masculinity. And I'm against all that talk, but this is an example of it. The dude who thinks he's entitled to sex as if it's some sort of like it's a foot rub. He's critiquing it as if it's something that is supposed to be given to him. Dude, sex is a shared experience. It's between you and your partner. You guys are sharing something together. There's intimacy and connection and something that's happening. There's a give and take that goes on with that. And you got to be like, if for you to think like she's not giving it to you, there's a reason. There's a reason your partner is not having sex with you. And it may be because of you, or it could be something else, but communicate. You know what I mean? Communicate. Talk, communicate, and see what's going on. You know what I mean? That's what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. This guy just, I think that he doesn't realize that there's something going on. There's a reason why his girl is not doing this with him. And you need to like open up and find out about that. Rekindle the romance in your relationship. That's something that you need to like look into doing, man. All right. That's more, that would be more up the alley, man. Instead of acting like you're some king that is entitled to this. You know what I mean? All right. I answered this one on my thing too, but this is a great one that I really like. What do you think of a long distance relationship? You think it'll last or it's worth it? I think long distance relationships can work if you have a plan. If you met in person and then like you guys really connected and there's something you're like, man, I gotta be with you, but you go back to your separate places and now you're having this long distance relationship, it's not gonna work if you don't get together. It's because this ain't a real relationship. Relationships are about compromise and acceptance of things that you like and don't like. And you only know that by being in proximity of that person. If you're long distance all the time, then this is just a vacation. So when you go see them, you guys are just showing the best of yourselves and that's it. And then you don't have to worry about them anymore when they're out of sight, out of mind, when you're like, doing your own things. There's no like, hey, are we getting dinner today? Hey, can you come pick me up? Or, hey, can you turn the light off? I'm trying to go to sleep. Or all that stuff that happens in a relationship, you are removing yourself from that. And that's the real stuff. And so I think a long distance relationship can work if there's a plan in place. I'm going to move there, you're going to move here, or we're going to move someplace together. Because we want to go long term, and there's a reason you're separate. I have a job I can't leave, or I'm at school, or we need to save up money. Whatever that thing is, if you have a plan you're working on together, I think it can work, and it's going to be great. You know what I mean? But if not, what are you doing? You know what I mean? What are you doing? Okay, let's see. Let's get a couple more. Not happy with my current job. I want to move, but don't want my current boss to know. Well, it ain't your boss's business, okay? Let me get a sip of my coffee. It's not your boss's business, honestly. Search for another job, Start putting in resumes, Start planning out what you want to do. Start thinking about how much money do I need to save that I could be out of work for 2 months if I need to while I'm searching for another job. Or maybe I need to go take a class because I need to add something to my repertoire so I can get this other job. Whatever you need to do, you have to take action, plan, and move forward. Don't just quit your job and be like, well, that's it. Now I'm going to go. No, plan it out, man. Plan it out. And then once you find a job, you tell your boss, hey, give me my 2 weeks, and then you go. That's how you do that, okay? But it's all about planning, man. Let's see. A lot of stupid stuff on here, too. I mean, people are just dumb, dude. My girlfriend's father died from cancer this week. What's the best possible way to support her? It sounds like you love your girl, and that's all you really can do. You can't take away someone's grief. You can only distract them from it and show them that life is still moving on. You know what I mean? You just got to be there. That the moral support sometimes is enough for some people, or sometimes people need, again, a distraction. So it's like, let's take her, you just spend time with her. You take her to nice dinners. You keep her you keep her moving forward in life. Get some workouts in, do some activities, and just remind her that, her grandfather, was it her grandfather I said? No, it's her father. So I know how hard that is. It's like, that's a tough loss. And she just got to remind her to remember the good times and, remember to honor her father by living her best life. And you be there just for support. So if you want to do that, it's great. You know what I mean? So, I love it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not even going to address it. I'm just going to do what I did. That's how you do that. I don't care about these idiots. And, there's so many idiots in the world and they all come to my chat. All right. So this is the last one I got. Hey, Griff, myself and my partner love one another and have been together 7 years. We are best friends, lovers, and helped one another through some really difficult times. We live together and are happy, but both of us want to eventually move home to our family and friends. She wants to go to Canada, and I want to go back to Europe. I don't want to break up over this, as everything else in our relationship is great. Well, you've already answered your question. If everything else in your relationship is great, then you got to decide. You know what I mean? It's either worth it or it's not. It's either, hey, 2 times a year I got to go travel back to Europe to see my family and friends, or you're like, my family and friends, seeing them is more important than my life I'm trying to build with this person. Okay? You leave the nest, man. That's why you leave the nest. You're home, you see your parents, your family, you love them, you communicate with them, FaceTime with them more, send them letters, save up money so you can visit more often. But you are building a life of your own. Okay? You're building a life of your own with this person. If you say all the things that you said about her, stick with it, man. Y'all got to just figure it out. You know what I mean? Whoa. My Google. Hey, Google, stop. Wow. Google just started doing stuff. My Google speaker. That was so weird. Anyways, all right, y'all. That's that. Thanks for being here. I appreciate everybody that comes to watch Riffin with Griffin every single week. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because that is going to help me grow the show. If you don't like what I do, this is what I do on the podcast. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's introspective, sometimes it's like we're doing advice, sometimes we're doing there's a lot of different things that I like to do on the podcast, man. So it's up to you if you like it or not, So I appreciate the ones that do come back every week, that leave comments and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate you. Make sure you check me out on Twitch. I'll be back on Twitch. I'll be here in like an hour or so. I'll be back and I'll be on Twitch. Support me on Patreon if you want, or you could be a subscriber on Twitch, or you could be a YouTube member too. I appreciate that support. Too. But y'all know what time it is. Everybody, it's the rap recap. We talked about the Will Smith slap. And Chris Rock, he clapped back. Some of my chat, you're super whack. Woo! Here on Riffin with Griffin with the rap recap. That's not a dog, that's a bed. Did you stare? I would've got scared. Back at it once again. New day, tell your friends. Wednesday morning, every week. I'm sleep. My rap ain't weak. It's that dad shit, y'all. I turned 51 this week. Send me gifts. Woo! I'm hitting my peak. Oh yeah. Happy birthday to me. March 12th. As you can see, I like to dance and move my feet. With the rap recap. I do that for me. It's so stupid. Guys, thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin, and I'll see you next week. Every Wednesday, we're going to try to do it every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your support. Love you. Take care.